Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. It is that time again. It is the Premier League preview show with another international break has been and gone. Premier League football and club football in general returns this weekend and it's throwing up some big matches, some big encounters at both ends of the table. A couple of new starts for some teams and a whole lot of action is set to get back underway yet again this weekend. But before we go any further in guessing the outcomes of all the games that are happening this weekend, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very big greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get back into the Premier League predictions for game, I believe it's 8 of the new season. So we're going to kick things off with the lunchtime fixture. The lunchtime fixture that will be hosted at Vicarage Road and we'll see Watford host Liverpool. Much has changed at Watford since the last time we saw them, as Claudio Ranieri is set to take charge of his first game since being appointed manager. Yes, Watford have changed manager this early on in the season. We all kind of expected it to happen. I don't think many of us expected it to happen this early on, but another new chapter is set to play out in the history of Watford Football Club beginning this Saturday. Whilst for Liverpool, they remain unbeaten this season following their last outing, which was a 2-2 draw with Manchester City. This is a major banana skin fixture for Liverpool. Not only is this a Saturday midday fixture, which as someone who likes to have a bet, is a horrible game to bet on regardless. But this is going to be against the Watford side with a brand new manager as well. And the possibility of that new manager bounce that most teams kind of get with a new managerial appointment could be set to play out once again on Saturday. The Reds will have to be on it from the first whistle and guard against any complacency going forward. This will not be an easy fixture. Nevertheless, I still have to back my team. I still have to back the Reds here. Their defence may be a little questionable in recent weeks, but Mohamed Salah is on absolute fire right now, and I hope, pray, and probably expect him to continue in that vein of form. That's why I'm going to go for a 3-1 Liverpool victory. Next up, West Midlands derby time as Aston Villa take on Wolves. Villa lost 2-1 to Tottenham last time out, whilst Wolves put together back-to-back wins after beating Newcastle by that same scoreline. Interesting game, this one, between two sides who are quite inconsistent this season, I think is the word to put it. Villa really need to begin to show that this side are gelling together and being genuine as far as what their ambitions are, whilst Wolves need to start adding more goals to their overall play. Either side could go on and win this game, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this fixture. The Etihad hosts our next game of focus as Manchester City clash with Burnley. City drew 2-2 with Liverpool last time out, whilst Burnley are still looking for their first win of the season after drawing with rock-bottom Norwich in their last game. Look, do we really need to go into much detail with this game here? Look, maybe on this occasion, maybe the stars align, maybe luck and fortune will be on the side of Sean Dyche's men, and maybe Burnley can come away with a result in an alternate reality. But in the real world, we know how this story ends. It's happened time and time again. City have constantly come out of this fixture having absolutely thrashed, hammered, beaten and conquered Burnley multiple times. And I don't expect Saturday's game to end any differently. And that's why I'm going to say Pep Guardiola's side come out of this game as 4-0 winners. Rock bottom Norwich taking on high-flying Brighton at Carrow Road is our next game. Both these sides endured goalless draws the last time they played, with Norwich taking on Burnley, in which saw them get their first point of the new season since returning to the Premier League, whilst Brighton played against Arsenal. Big game for Norwich this, but then again, I guess every game is when you're at the foot of the table. They really do need to get more points on the board ASAP, of course, but this is obviously going to be a very tough game against a very high-flying Brighton side. One, I can only see one winner in, and that is the Seagulls. Brighton to win here, and I'm going to predict that the Seagulls will win 2-0. The Saints take on Leeds at St Mary's in our next game. Southampton suffered a 3-1 defeat to Chelsea last time out, whilst Leeds claimed their first victory of the season just before the international break as they beat Watford 1-0. Southampton are yet to win this season, whilst Leeds will be looking at this as a great opportunity to put together back-to-back wins for the first time this season and properly kick off their season. Interesting game ahead, this one where the result genuinely could go any which way. And I know you're probably used to me saying that, but for this game, it is genuinely true. I'm going for a 2-1 Leeds win though. I'm not entirely confident by it, but 2-1 to Leeds is my prediction. Bit of a London derby takes place in Saturday's evening fixture as Brentford host Chelsea. Both sides coming to this one off the back of victories just before the international break, with Brentford finding a late winner to beat West Ham, whilst the Blues beat Southampton 3-1. Intriguing game ahead, this one. We know that Brentford are enjoying life in the Premier League, and of course every team that they've faced this season, some big problems, including of course Liverpool, fellow rivals of Chelsea seemingly for the title this season. And they'll be looking to go into this game with that same no fear and never give up attitude that they had in that game. But if Chelsea want to continue their push towards putting a title challenge together, then this is the kind of game that they have to win. A draw is certainly possible, no doubt about it, but I'm just about going to give the edge to Chelsea in this game, and I'm going to say 2-1 to the Blues. Now we move on to Sunday's games, and first up, it's a clash of the Toffees against the Hammers. Rafa Benitez against David Moyes as Goodison Park plays host to Everton against West Ham. Everton drew 1-1 with Manchester United before the international break, whilst West Ham were beaten by a late winner from Brentford in their last game. Interesting clash ahead. I think Everton have performed above everybody's expectations this season, maybe even including some Everton fans in that, with having obviously a former Liverpool manager in Rafa Benitez in charge of their club. I think Benitez has personally done a very good job since his arrival at Goodison Park. Whilst West Ham have begun the season and have been a bit hit and miss across the entirety of the campaign so far. And this again is another game in which the result could go any which way, but my prediction is going to be that of a 2-2 draw. But again, I'm not entirely confident when I say that. A new era possibly to begin at St James's Park this Sunday. I anticipate a rather different atmosphere to the one we normally get when Newcastle are at home and they are taking on Tottenham this weekend. The Magpies enjoyed an international break that brought with it some much needed optimism and hope for the future in the form of a huge mega money takeover, getting rid of Mike Ashley once and for all. But now they need to turn their attention to matters on the pitch, as Steve Bruce's side are yet to win this season. And just while we're on that subject, by the way, they may sit second from bottom as well, but Steve Bruce, this could be the final game we see of Steve Bruce in charge of Newcastle. His job is set to be very insecure and they are looking at replacing him almost immediately. So this could be his final game in charge, regardless of the result. As for Spurs though, they of course got back to winning ways before the international break as they beat Aston Villa 2-1, and they could face a very difficult game here. It'll be a different game, a much more positive vibe, and a buzz around the club could spark a very good performance, and maybe better yet, a better result for Newcastle this Sunday. It will be a tough game, of course it will. A very inconsistent Tottenham side are arriving at St James's Park to do battle on Sunday. Will this finally be the game that Harry Kane finally turns up this season, or will Tottenham just spoil the Newcastle party once and for all? I could see it going any which way in terms of either side winning it, but I'm going to call it down the middle. I'm going to say a draw. I think Alan Saint-Maximin will be the man to watch in this game, but I'm going to predict a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. The penultimate game on this list takes us to Monday night's fixture, and it sees the Emirates Stadium host Arsenal taking on Crystal Palace. Arsenal enjoyed a goalless stalemate with Brighton last time out, whilst Palace fought back to draw 2-2 with Leicester before the international break. This game will see the return of Patrick Vieira to the club, where he's known as a legend and an invincible as the manager of Crystal Palace now, of course. Palace have proven to be a tough nut to crack this season. They've proven to be a tough test for most of the teams that they've faced this season. They may have only won 1, but drawing 4 and only losing 2 to the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea prove that they are not going to be an easy side to beat. Arsenal have the squad to overcome this side, however, but whether they turn up or not is fully another story, which is why I'm leaning more towards a draw for this game. I think Palace will get another point from this game and draw yet again. I'm calling it as a 1-1 draw here. And for the final game on this list, acting as my personal main event for the weekend, or the biggest game of this round of fixtures in my personal opinion, takes place at the King Power Stadium. It is Leicester hosting Manchester United on Saturday afternoon. Both sides come into this game off the back of draws. The Foxes drew with Crystal Palace, whilst United drew with Everton last time out. It's a big game for both sides. Leicester have been very inconsistent and underwhelming this season so far, whilst United are about to go into a period of games and fixtures that will be very, very tough for them. And with the pressure already mounting on manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it doesn't look like it will be getting any easier on him. United will already be without both Rafael Varane and Harry Maguire for this weekend, so maybe the likes of Jamie Vardy will fancy their chances going up more against Victor Lindelof and Eric Bailly this weekend. The only thing I can say as a positive for Solskjaer is that when the pressure has really mounted on him in the past, he somehow, some way manages to pull off a victory or a series of victories that helps ease the pressure somewhat going forward. Will it happen again here, or has he run out of second chances? That all remains to be seen. But my prediction for this game is that United have match winners in their squad and could go on and win this game. But I'm seeing it more as a draw, in all honesty. I think Leicester will probably upset United a little bit and get a draw. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. But of course, as I always say, these are the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this weekend's Premier League fixtures? What are your own predictions for this weekend? Also, fantasy football tips. Who do you see having a good weekend? Who do you see having a bad weekend? Who you're putting in? Who you're taking out of your squads? I'd love to know all of your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section. Sure, it'll all make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and probably greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Premier League prediction show. And I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video.